So, we're announcing this Land of the Morning Light Seoul following the successful expansion of Land of the Morning Light Part 1 last year. And this time again, we're introducing more Korean folktale based missions and bosses, and also a little new gameplay style. So, when we introduced Black Shrine, I think a lot of players actually liked it. And this time we're also introducing like 5-player co-op gameplay that I believe a lot of our players are gonna love. And also, based on a lot of Korean folktales, we're bringing in new stories and new content. So this is something actually a little unique for Black Desert players, because even when we introduced the first part of Land of the Morning Light, I think a lot of people were really excited about learning the new Korean folktales and new Korean folktale based bosses and new stories. And I think all those other like a Korean culture based content was really loved by a lot of our players. And now bringing in even more of this content will be very exciting to our players, both existing and new players, I believe. I think at first we were not specifically targeting spreading like a Korean culture in game. And as Jaehee also mentioned yesterday, it began more like because we wanted to do something we are good at. I think that's basically the approach we are usually taking. We were not really specifically wanting to introduce Korean culture, Korean content in game, but we always wanted to see what else we can do and what else we are good at, just to show in game offer to the players. And then we thought, yeah, actually we are also very familiar with our culture and Korean stuff, but we really just didn't have a lot of unique Korean culture in game. So why don't we actually try that? So that was the beginning. And while we were actually working, on the Land of the Morning Light expansion, I think there was also a little kind of anxiety, because we were not sure how players outside of Korea would receive that. They might feel a little unfamiliar. They might feel a little awkward, because that's not something they were all just not familiar with before. But I think luckily, a lot of players, first I think they were already kind of familiar with some Korean culture thanks to K-pop and Korean dramas and Korean movies, and also they were really interested in learning more about Korean culture at this point. And second, I think even those people were not really familiar with Korean content at all. I think in general, the game players these days I think they're ready to accept all the diverse cultures in game or in any content. So I think they were really happy to see this like a unique content that that was inspired by Korean culture, especially Korean Joseon Dynasty, including kind of unique Korean landscape and Korean stories and even Korean music in game. So I think that was really all working together pretty well, and our players really loved it. And I think another good thing is our devs, I think our dev team did a great job at making this unique Korean content well blended in the existing Black Desert world. So that was probably not an easy job, but I think even when they made this storyline, how they were kind of just getting to a point where they were supposed to travel this kind of mysterious island that's kind of opening to the Land of the Morning Light. I think the storyline was very smooth and made all sense. And when also the Land of the Morning Light opened up, I think how you were supposed to kind of travel through the stories, experiencing kind of new content, was designed to be very smooth and well. So I think that was probably what our devs did a good job with. I think actually we can really target both. I think for our existing players, for veteran players, I think they always kind of wanted to see something new, and I think they also wanted to have more a little different gameplay style as well. So introducing, Land of the Morning Light that also offers kind of new gameplay style. So last year we actually offered, we brought in a Black Shrine in the Land of the Morning Light Part 1. And this time we're also introducing, 5-player co-op gameplay in Land of the Morning Light Seoul. And these are all actually what, our existing veteran players are looking forward to having, like new gameplay style and actually co-op gameplay. They always actually want more of these. And I think, and also actually there are more challenges in, like defeating bosses. So I think these are all actually what we believe actually attract existing players, but also just making Land of the Morning Light actually open up from level 1 and having anybody actually enjoy this content. I think our new players also can choose like this new region as their starting point and actually have very unique experience in Black Desert world. So I believe actually even for new players and existing players, Land of the Morning Light can be a good content to start with. I think it's hard. I think we've been really just trying in regards to many things. I think first of all, we always been trying to update more new content and also just upgrade the game with a lot of improvements. Actually, that's actually really the first thing and the thing actually we've been doing for the last 10 years. And we started with actually every week patch, every week update, and now actually we actually just change the cadence to 2 weeks from 1 week. But still, I think actually we are really just trying to update the game and improve the game as much as we can and as fast as we can, so that our players feel that actually this game is kind of really evolving over time. And I think actually they're feeling that actually we're really constantly actually working on to make a better game, better service for them. Whether the changes are what they wanted to have or something surprising, or maybe some changes are not what they wanted to have. I think still they feel that actually these guys are constantly working on to make a better game and constantly working on something new or fixing something. I think that's one thing. And also I think the especially MMORPG's longevity is dependent on how strong the community is, and we really focus on the community and actually make our community strong. So we really try to offer a lot of things to our community, whether it's in-game or whether it's on social or whether it's in person. We really try to create a lot of kind of fun events, giveaway events, in-game events where GMs actually hang out with our players. They sometimes actually go out for racing and they actually give away some stuff, or just do a lot of just fun stuff together. And we do a lot of like a social events, and also actually we've been trying to do more offline events in more recent years, so that we can create these opportunities to meet with our adventurers and have a good time with them, and actually really kind of just communicate more closely with them and to understand them better. And I think all these efforts together, I think being paid off, I think. Actually, as actually Jeonghee mentioned yesterday, so this specific town and this specific castle was the inspiration for Haidal region and Haidal city in Black Desert. When we created Haidal city, Haidal region in game, our devs, our artists actually did a lot of research to pick some places that really actually they can, get some inspirations from. And then they actually found this specific town, Baignac Kazena, and also this castle, Chateau de Baignac. And they actually really wanted to recreate something that really kind of resembles, this town, because they thought this town gives a lot of kind of medieval, fantasy world look and feel. So I think they did it. So actually, whenever actually we wanted to, we were picking a place for hideable, this specific town was mentioned before, but we never thought actually we really just couldn't make it happen, to be honest. But this year was actually a little special year to us because it marks 10th anniversary for Black Desert, and we really wanted to make our hideable very special. And then this idea came up once again, like, hey, why don't we actually do the hideable in the real life hideout, which is this town? And then our awesome European team, actually they said actually they're gonna try to make it happen, and here we are. I think that's also our spirit. Like, when we think actually we want to do something and we believe this is something very meaningful for our players, and I think we try our best to make it happen. So I think we made it happen. Yeah, there are a lot of other MMORPGs, and I remember Jeonghee mentioned yesterday that he thinks MMORPG is a genre, but also actually is above a genre, because MMORPG actually can be more like a framework where you can put a lot of different components in one genre. So I actually really agree with actually his point of view. I also believe MMORPG has a lot more components in one game, and it can actually be a combination of a lot of different genres and a lot of characteristics. And we actually really wanted to create a very unique MMORPG. And one thing is actually really stylish and dynamic combat. And I think actually we really achieved it through a lot of different characters that have very different combat styles, and all stylish, very dynamic action combats. And also even actually when you fight 1v1 or group versus group, you really can tell actually you are really kind of in an action game, not an MMORPG. Actually, we really wanted to create that experience in this MMORPG. And also second, we really wanted to create a very like a sandbox-like MMORPG where actually you really can kind of choose whatever lifestyle actually you want in game. If you want to be like in a very strong PvPer, actually you can do that. If you just want to follow like missions, and if you love PvE, you can do that. And there are so many different life skills in Black Desert, and you can also do all these different life skills and living a very peaceful life, and still actually can have a lot of progressions in game. So we really wanted to give whole lot of degree of freedom to players in Black Desert, and also character customization. Of course, I actually really cannot skip that. So I think actually we kind of created a very unique experience in this MMORPG genre. So I really don't think I can compare Black Desert with other MMORPGs, but in terms of just creating this unique experience in MMORPG, I think probably we also kind of contributed to the growth of MMORPG genre a little bit. I think probably I don't have anything specific further than what we already shared in media briefing yesterday, but we are actually working on more like a long-term plan for next content updates for Black Desert. And one thing is actually we are really just thinking about players experience more and more. And one thing is guild. So actually we are really just trying to redesign the guild experience better for all different type of players. Like if you're like a PvP player, if you're PvE player, if you're a life skiller, actually I think we want to help them just to find a guild actually that really can help with their their favorite gameplay style in game, and also actually can have better group experience as a guild together. And also we are kind of always trying to create something new, and one of the things actually we are planning on is actually creating the old time Black Desert continent, so that actually people can really just experience the same region that in the form of actually 1,000 years ago. So I think there is a lot of interesting stuff coming in the next years. We think South American region is actually very important to us because we see a lot of players actually coming in, and we just want to I really wish we could do more for the community, but I believe we're still in our learning stage, and we're really just trying to learn about the Brazil and South American community and gamers, and so that we can offer more better content for them and more better community event and community activities for them. I think we've been improving. So actually this year in February we actually first held first Adventures Oasis event, which is our community event in Brazil, and we really hope we can do more of those events in person, and we really want to communicate with Brazilian community and South American community better. So our community managers and our South American live service teams are actually doing their best. I believe we're still learning, but I'm pretty sure we can offer better service in Latin America in the future.
What about Mexico?
Oh yeah, Mexico is included in our North American service region. So I think sometimes it's a little tricky because for North American regions, English speaking population is actually the majority. So I feel like sometimes we are not really just at the best for the Mexican community, but for all the communities, we really try to understand different needs or different play style and whatever we're missing to make a better service for them. So we are still also just looking to do a better service for Mexican community, but actually we just believe we can provide more. Also, more events and more community activities for Mexican players as well. So as you know, we are working on a few new ambitious titles. So hopefully, we can share more news about those new projects like Crimson Desert or Dokevi. So yeah, not much details I can share right now, but for Crimson Desert, I believe we already announced that we're going to be at Gamescom with Crimson Desert. So hopefully we can show more gameplay of Crimson Desert to the players soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for playing Black Desert. And I really appreciate that we celebrate 10th anniversary year with you guys. Thanks to our community. And I hope we can continue providing good content, good service, and we can also just provide more great experience, great memories to our adventures in game and outside of the game.